It's 1980. Three German teams start out on the first Camel Trophy through the jungle of the Brazilian Amazon. They can have no idea what their adventure will lead to. For 12 days, the drivers and their backup teams fight their way along the Trans-Amazonica from Belém to Santarém. For 1,000 miles, the drivers endure the tortures of quagmire and mud, extreme heat and humidity, and often for hours on end, the ubiquitous and extremely irritating fine red sand. And they do it in ordinary Jeeps, which look rather like toys against today's specially equipped trophy vehicles. The most difficult situations occur when the jungle has managed to reclaim the road. Breaking through the apparently impenetrable barrier is exhausting work. In 1981, the second Camel Trophy takes place close to the equator, on Sumatra in Indonesia, the world's fifth largest island. This second run has already stimulated tremendous interest, and not only among the local population. Before final selection of the five, still exclusively German, two-man teams taking part here, the flood of applications in Germany led to the conception of a truly international Camel Trophy. For the first time, Range Rovers are used to cover the 1,000 miles from Medan to Yamai. They and the 10 participants perform extremely well on the arduous route, from the volcanic mountains in the north to the tropical swamps of the south. After experiencing abrupt climatic changes for most of the journey, everyone reaches the finish safely. The greatest difficulties which the all-wheel drive vehicles have to contend with are the dirty, muddy sections, which are extremely hard to assess, and where getting stuck involves hours of rescue work. (1982). The Camel Trophy participants land in Papua New Guinea. The welcome is overwhelming and the media interest enormous. This is the first time that the 1,000-mile Camel Trophy adventure is held with international participation. There are 8 two-man teams, 2 each from Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and the United States. This time a draw is held to allocate the 8 Range Rovers so that each team starts with the same chances. And for the first time, a number of special tests have been included to determine the winner. But the emphasis of the Camel Trophy remains on teamwork for this first international competition. Without it, there is little chance of completing the arduous course, which stretches from the mountainous countries of Mount Hagen down to the coast in Madang. And the members of the over 700 local tribes lend enthusiastic support. Even when a bridge swept away by the river causes a trophy competitor for once to attempt something more than he or his vehicle can manage. It soon becomes clear that the roof load must be carefully packed and secured, because apart from the bridges and rivers in Papua New Guinea, the mountain roads, which date back to colonial times, cause the competitors plenty of trouble. They're embellished with a variety of treacherous humps, ditches, and potholes that put heavy demands on vehicles and driving skills. The Italians Cesare Giraldo and Giuliano Giongo prove to be the most adroit. They win the first international Camel Trophy. The fourth Camel Trophy is the first time the event is held in Africa, more precisely in Zaire, the former Belgian Congo. And for the first time, Land Rovers equipped with roll bars, roof racks, and winches are used on the 1,000-mile journey from Kinshasa to Kisangani, through the middle of the jungle. 7 countries are now represented with teams from Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, and Hong Kong. The extreme climatic conditions, 45 degrees Celsius in the shade, 95% relative humidity, and the difficulties presented by the route make the fourth Camel Trophy one of the severest ever, and one of the most dangerous. As a journalist is trying to make tea on the boiling hot bonnet of a Land Rover, there's a sudden burst of flame. Within moments, the whole Land Rover is ablaze. By courageously towing away the flaming wreck, the fire can be stopped from spreading to the village. But the vehicle is a write-off. The most frequent cause of time loss in this event are vehicles that have turned over. Tiring rescue actions are the result, but the Camel Trophy family nevertheless reaches the finish. The victors, who have accumulated the most points in the special tests, are the Dutch pair, Henk Bont and Frans Hey. Apart from the exhausting climatic conditions and the jungle problems, which have come to be almost typical of the Camel Trophy, here in Zaire, the main problem is the extremely bad condition of the roads, which demand the utmost of the competitors. Whether the surface is rock-hard sand or knee-deep mud, the vehicles are continually having to be driven in an inclined state, very close to the turnover point. The Camel Trophy returns to Brazil on the occasion of its 5th anniversary, but finds very different conditions from those in 1980. Instead of sand, dust, and drought, the competitors arrive in Santarém during the rainy season, and the 12 two-man teams from Germany, the Netherlands, Italy, Switzerland, Spain, and Belgium have to come to terms with the effects of the rains during the whole 2 weeks. The journey from Santarém, the finishing point of the 1980 Camel Trophy, and Manaus, river port capital of Amazonas state, turns out to be one long mud bath. Once again, the Land Rover proves to be the complete off-road vehicle. Perhaps it's not surprising that a resourceful organizer faces the competitors with a special task, which involves reversing through a quagmire. Of course, the teams don't master the special problems that this presents with equal elegance. The adventurers only get some peace and quiet when it proves necessary to load everyone onto a ferry. It's not only the participants who arrive in Manaus in a somewhat battered condition. Some of the vehicles have suffered too. Once again, extraordinary team spirit has made the almost impossible possible. And another Camel Trophy has a happy ending. The Italians Maurizio Lavi and Alfredo Redaelli gathered most points in the special tasks and win this year's trophy. There were many occasions on the journey when it seemed doubtful that the teams would get to Manaus at all. Never before had the drivers and backup teams needed to work so hard just to achieve progress. Some stretches of the Trans-Amazonica, the world's longest road, have been washed away by swollen rivers. Team spirit and resilience are put to a severe test when a bridge that has been erected after many hours' hard work is swept away again within seconds. Courage, the readiness to take risks, and mental strength are needed to master such situations. And of course, a number of winches, especially though the ability to use them properly to achieve maximum effect with minimum technical effort. A new bridge, no less. And then the anxious moment arrives. Will the bridge hold or won't it? Must the Camel Trophy be terminated prematurely for the first time? Will we do it or won't we? Success. In 1985, the Camel Trophy returns to Indonesia. The event is held on the world's second largest island, Borneo. The local inhabitants welcome the biggest Camel Trophy armada so far. 16 teams from Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Switzerland, and for the first time, from Brazil and Japan. And the interest is tremendous. Borneo provides the usual Camel Trophy scenes, dealing with difficult road conditions, helping each other to overcome minor and major problems, heat, stress. But the helicopter air bridge, which is needed to get everyone over a flooded swamp, is totally unexpected. And it means that a lot of extra work is necessary. To save weight, all the baggage and the Land Rover doors have to be taken off and put back on again. It's a welcome relief to be able to enjoy the periods of relaxation, which are also part of the Camel Trophy, the world's last true adventure. The 1,000 miles between Samarinda and Balikpapan are the most arduous so far, and that's due to the water. At the end of the rainy season, most of the Indonesian province of Kalimantan is more or less underwater. The interaction between man and machine is nowhere more important than under these conditions. Heinz Kalin and Bernd Strodach from Germany win this year's Camel Trophy. And the participants vote the Brazilian team, the one most ready to help. So they win the Team Spirit Award, presented this year for the first time. After the Water Trophy in Borneo, Australia has something new to offer for 1986. Enchanting scenery, solitary driving for days on end in complete seclusion, across the grassy plains and savanna, and through the forests and deserts in the north of the fifth continent. A record 14 countries are participating this year, but with just one team from each country. Although Australia is known as the world's driest continent, the Camel Trophy competitors again have plenty of trouble with water. They lose a whole day being ferried across a river in rubber dinghies. Another trophy first. But it turns out to be the most amusing, most romantic, and most lively Camel Trophy to date. The 1986 Camel Trophy comes to an end in Darwin with a boisterous victory celebration for the French winners, Jacques Mombre and Michel Courvalet, and the Australian winners of the Team Spirit Award, Glenn Jones and Ron Begg. The most headaches on the Australian trophy are caused by driving in sand. Whether steep, fissured, or soft, the competitors are continually having to come to terms with this treacherous driving surface, sometimes more intensively than they reckoned with. After 4 Land Rover years, Range Rovers are used again for the 8th Camel Trophy in Madagascar. Teams from 14 countries again experience the meeting of different cultures and civilizations. And of course, the contest between machine and nature. Crossing this equatorial island in the Indian Ocean from north to south, between Diego Suarez and Port Dauphin presents the competitors with plenty of typical Camel Trophy challenges. the climate again provides major problems because within seconds the weather can switch from sunshine to torrential rain. Any kind of hat is good enough to keep the worst of the rain off. But also in Madagascar, by exhausting every possibility and drawing on their last resources of imagination, all 14 teams managed to reach the finish in Port Dauphin. With Mauro Miele and Vincenzo Tota, an Italian team win the Camel Trophy for the third time, and the Spaniards Puig and Mutane are voted the most helpful team. One of the special tasks in Madagascar consists of trying to climb a steep slope following a short run-up on the flat. The time is recorded, and points are awarded to each competitor based on how he approaches and executes the task. Some teams, such as the Japanese, have every reason to be pleased with their showing. And the Swiss too look confident after having completed this special task. But others are less successful. By choosing Sulawesi, the former Celebes, for the 9th Camel Trophy, Indonesia becomes the host country for the third time. With its more than 1,300 islands, equatorial situation, and sparse population, Indonesia offers ideal conditions for the Camel Trophy, well away from civilization. On the journey from Manado to Ujung Pandang, there are nevertheless a number of opportunities to use the Land Rovers to help the local inhabitants. For the most part, though, the competitors are kept busy with their own problems, because Sulawesi, with its fissured, almost inaccessible mountainous terrain, provides an unprecedented test of endurance for man and machine. The Belgians have a frightening experience as their vehicle only just comes to rest on the edge of a precipice. And the shock of this experience takes time to wear off. There is no alternative but to tow the damaged vehicle in sandwich. A complete differential is replaced in a single night. Camel Trophy participants have to reckon with all kinds of repair situations. The Turkish dentist Galip Gürel uses an epoxy adhesive to mend a broken tooth. Galip is not just good at fixing teeth. He also knows a thing or two about off-road driving. He and his fellow countryman Ali Devetsi win the 9th Camel Trophy, The Britons Benson and Day received the Team Spirit Award. Patience is the quality required in the rugged mountainous terrain of Sulawesi. Patience to drive slowly. So progress is a painstaking business, measured in yards. It has to be, otherwise damage is inevitable. Using force or speed will have unwelcome consequences. Either the vehicle will be damaged or the driver.